Dr. Jessica Ash here. This is take 2 of discussing transformative art with Jabu. So stay tuned. As promised, I am here with a transformative artist who's very famous. So I'm very humbled that he's here with me today. And without further ado, I welcome Jabu. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it. It's a great pleasure to be here.
So tell me a little bit about your background and why you chose to be a transformative artist.
First of all, I'm from South Africa, and my work is inspired by saving the endangered wildlife species, and that's why I call my work transformative art. I choose causes that I'm passionate about. So one of my passions is really being the voice for the voiceless. I'm from South Africa, so I was inspired by Nelson Mandela, and Nelson Mandela spoke for the voiceless. And for me today, the voiceless is the endangered wildlife species. They literally cannot speak for themselves. So.
Well, that's very true. Are there specific species in particular that are important to you?
Well, it's almost like that question is almost like asking if which one of your kids are more important to you. Like all the endangered species is important to me, and when I talk about endangered wildlife species, people think that I'm only talking about the elephants and the lions, and they're thinking that I'm only talking about the African animals, but I'm actually talking about all the endangered wildlife species on our planet, and that includes plants. Bees are one of my favorites that I paint, because people don't think about that. I paint bees, I paint butterflies, um, these tiny little creatures. If they go, we go. Us as a species, us as a human species. If they disappear, we disappear. So make a point to bring an awareness to the masses about why all these species are important to us, but also um, different plants that are out there that are important to us. I think if people knew that, then they would want to save those plants. And I think I'm talking to people who fumigate their gardens and etc. You're fumigating your garden, you're killing certain species of plants, and also you're making it difficult for uh, bees and butterflies to actually exist. You're killing both. So it's a broad spectrum from very tiny creatures on our planet to massive, majestic animals like elephants and zebras, etc. Yeah.
There's an animal. It's kind of like a range that's in Columbus, not far from here. It's the only place in the U.S. that has endangered animals who have been rescued. And there's elephants. It's my dream, Jabu, to go play with baby elephants. And I see so much love in them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there's a giraffe near. Come to Ohio, and I'll take you to this place. There's a giraffe whose mother died when it was born, and so it was raised by humans. Humans gave it a bottle, and now it's like a 19-foot tall puppy. If it sees the truck coming, and it like sticks his head in the truck for food, and then he moves his shoulder around so you can scratch his shoulder. I mean, that's not the ideal for an animal. I know the ideal is for them to be fine in the wild.
That's right.
But this is just an animal who wouldn't be alive otherwise.
Yeah. And I understand that. I get that. I get that people want to, like, it's almost like intervening, and that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing, is intervene in the space, right? Where you, the goal is to help the species survive, but it would be more important for the species to survive on its own with their own instincts. But the reason human beings have to intervene is because we interrupted that progression in the first place. So, speaking of elephants, do you know which elephant species has been domesticated? Indian elephants or African elephants? It's a question for the audience and you.
Okay, so I'll look in the comments and see if anybody answers a little time. I love this audience interaction. I'll wait for comments.
Okay.
Let's ask the question one more time.
So one type of elephant species has not ever been domesticated. Is it the Indian species or the African species?
All right. So we'll wait a few minutes to get some.
Yeah. In other words, when you go to the circus to see elephants, people riding them and people beating them and doing all this stuff, are those elephants from Africa or are those elephants from India? Very important question.
While we're waiting for our viewers to respond, I'll ask you another question.
Yes.
Why do you use the term transformative art?
It's very important to me. Transformative art for me means that I pick, first of all, the different causes that I'm passionate about. It's all about change in what my art does, right, in real life. I started doing art because of my inspiration from Nelson Mandela. So for me, creating art for art's sake is not enough. I want to create art that inspires people, that has a call to action for people to do something. And to me, that is transformative. If my art can inspire you, go do something, or to start talking about a topic that actually affects all of us, then I feel like as an artist I've done my job, and that's why I call my work transformative art.
That's wonderful, and we're in a similar business in that I'm trying to change people's minds. Some people are devastated and paralyzed by fear, especially now because of COVID, and so yeah, I don't know if you know this, but on the weekends I'm teaching in Myanmar or Algeria because I'm trying to inspire youth around the world to not. I'm trying to inspire youth to continue their education, to not let themselves get all paralyzed and stop studying. I mean, I know Zoom isn't what we wanted, but it's what's possible right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have met you if there was no Zoom.
That's right. So, you know, I don't want to necessarily answer the question about COVID, but I want to answer the question that actually talks to you as an audience out there. Is like COVID is something new to all of us, and it's challenging to all of us. But what's important is we all have other challenges in life that we have faced, and so you have to equip yourself with tools that actually help you deal effectively with those challenges. So me personally, I use my artwork as an emotional outlet to deal with fear, to deal with anxiety, to deal with uh, the past, to deal with the unknown. These are things that exist in my life, and so, and whatever challenge that you have to find a way to cope with that, and or combat that, so it doesn't, take over your life. And for me, art does that for myself. So I think a lot of us, from when we were kids, we all painted. We were all artists at one point. We all did art, and I'm sure you'll remember that.
Oh yeah.
If you were in preschool or even before that, you painted on walls. We were all painters. And then as we grow, somehow we're told that this is not going to make you money. This is not the way to live your life. So you forget about that. But those moments, those times that you were doing that, that was actually something fun to do. That was actually something that was helping you release your emotions like
Yeah.
freely, like doing that freely, right? So I encourage people to find in their lives. It doesn't have to be art, but it can be something creative that allows you to literally be free doing something that is unconfining, whether it's music, whether it's dancing, um, could be outside, something creative that doesn't make you feel like you're at work, like, oh, I'm going to work and this is why it's what I'm doing. So
That's why I am here right now, because I find it very cathartic that in today's world, COVID is one fear, but there are many fears, and there are many. I really like the way you said it. It doesn't matter what the fear is.
yeah,
If you actually do something, whatever it is, whether it's skiing, because we
right,
got snow, or if it's starting a YouTube channel, which is actually free,
yeah,
you know, whatever it is, it's that process and physical movement that pushes the toxic chemicals out of your body,
yeah,
but then you're also focused on something positive, so your brain is in a better place.
that's right. Um, because if we're talking about COVID, it's just like one thing, right? So, but people have challenges already beside COVID, pre-COVID.
Right.
So, how are you dealing with those things? What are the things that who are the people you talk to about combating that problem? Because you say it will always be there, post COVID. So we're not going to say that think people are going through a major challenge because of COVID. People will always have challenges. So we need to actually equip ourselves with how do we deal with that. And when we are better equipped and again, it doesn't have to be just one thing that you do that helps you get through the day. It could be just talking to other people. It could be reading a book. It could be um, getting out the house. As simple as that. Some people need to just get out the house, get out your zone, where you are, whatever it is you're feeling. Get out, enjoy nature. Don't watch the weather on TV. Go outside and look at what that looks like, right? Um, Go for a hike, um, you know, and
Do something to get out of your head.
get out, get yeah, get out of yourself. because that's what it is most of the time. Is we are in our heads. Uh, make sure you get out. Make you get out of your way.
And
And
get out of your own way. That's a really
get on your own way, and then maybe you'll find the better route. You feel better later on in the day. And most of the time, we're looking for solutions um, in television, on the internet, from other people, but we already have the answers. The answers are within us. So when you get out, you go out there and you you know, feel free to explore what this universe has to offer to you. You will find the answers.
And it should be said that you're not trying to say that it's easy. And I'll give you, and let me give you an example.
Yeah.
I was professionally attacked, and somebody tried to take my degree and my job and my career.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to quit,
Mm-hmm.
and I was devastated, and I was scared. And my husband came home with the most disgustingly neglected dog. He knows I just and so I was really kind of mad. I was like, really? I have to deal with this when I'm so upset? But there's a saying in the Bhagavad Gita that if you're miserable, find someone more miserable than you and help them. And so I bathed this dog every day in this nasty shampoo for months. And I walked him and put him in my coat because he was so cold and malnourished. And now he's big and fat and furry and happy, and he loves me to death. But my point of that is that I didn't really want the dog, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I did it, I immediately felt better.
Right. Yes. Yes. Sometimes the answer is not what you need, because there are others who need. If you think your situation is worse, then look outside yourself and you see that there are people who actually are way, way worse than you are. If you go to a restaurant and you complain about food, and you look outside yourself, you see that there are people who actually don't have food at all. And so it's things like that that people don't recognize. Is people who complain about everything. People who have everything tend to complain about everything. So yeah, right. So when you stop and think or at the most go explore. If you I encourage people to wherever you are. I'm in the U.S. and I encourage people who live in the U.S. to actually travel and go to other countries and go see how other people live in this time frame in this world, and you'll have a better enlightenment of what life is about. This is about life. And when you do that, you come back and you go, oh my God, there's so much more out there. And you will see people who are so appreciative, have so much gratitude for almost nothing, right? And that they wake up and they don't have clean water, they don't know if they're gonna eat tonight, and but their smiles are so big, like you're like, I don't know, where do they get these smiles, right? And then you come to the U.S. and you see people driving their big cars, like worth $500,000, and they're so unhappy. And so if people can have that change, that but it's all about seeing what's outside of yourself.
Yeah.
What's outside of your upbringing and your surrounding, and then most importantly for me, I would say seeing how connected we are outside of our own selves.
We've talked a lot about transformative art and getting outside of yourself. I'm looking at your Facebook page, and it's some of your pieces of art. And I noticed right now your cover on Facebook is you with some policemen.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that piece of art?
That happened right when COVID started, and sorry, not when COVID started. It was just before COVID started, and there was, when the police brutality happened, and there were riots that were happening throughout the country, and I was commissioned to do some artwork, and these police officers, this was in Santa Monica, California, and these police officers were circling me. They were driving around and driving around, and then finally I waved at them. I said, "Come out and come hang out," because it looked like I didn't know what they were gonna do. I was out there by myself, and this was right after the George Floyd shootings, and there were a lot of riotings and lootings and all of that stuff. And the building I'm standing in front of was being barricaded, and the owners of the building commissioned me and other artists to do some artwork. And I just happened to be the last artist who was there at night. And these police officers just kept on going around and around. And it was almost as if I didn't know if they knew that I could see that it was the same police car. And I waved them down. They stopped like going around me, And you want to ask me a question? So they came out and we had a conversation. And they were young. You could see the very young police officers, and I asked them what they felt about what was going on, and they were like, "That's wrong, and we want to change this," and we actually exchanged information, and then they actually took that picture. I didn't take that picture. I said, "Let's take a picture," and then I said, "Send a picture to me," and they did. They took a picture and they sent it to me, and so to me it was like we need to have a conversation about what we're doing to each other, and make a change.
That's really a great story, and it's a great story for peace at a moment of great conflict in our country.
Yeah, I was nervous at the time because I was alone. There were police officers circling me. My cell phone had died, so I couldn't document anything. So I did the best thing that I knew how to do, was communication. So I waved them down to stop so we could talk. And then I got them to take a picture with their own phone, and they sent it to me.
Yeah, that's a great story. I love it.
Yeah. So.
Are there other pieces of art that you want to discuss right now?
So right now I'm working with the United Nations for World Peace. This is one of the causes that I'm passionate about. I think this is a very important cause that people should get behind. If around the world, when a scarcity starts to happen, and it's happening now, where people don't have food, they don't have supplies of clean water or anything, then this is how wars begin. And when this happened, then we're too late, right? So I'm working with the United Nations to raise money for world peace. So my work is being auctioned off for that cause. And beside that, throughout the year, what I do is I work with an organization called Elemental Music. I donate my paintings to Elemental Music to help buy musical instruments for kids. Again, this is a very important time in our lives because uh, kids who can't go to school are bored, and yeah, if we can't inspire them, then I don't know where our future lies. So we need to inspire kids, and so my biggest goal and my thing that I've done uh, before COVID was help and work with this organization is do auctions. Or they auction off my paintings to buy musical instruments for kids. So those are, well, it's that I do. And then the third thing I want to mention is uh, also prior to COVID, I was working with an organization called Color Me Africa. We bring um, African artists from Africa to Chicago, and we teach them the business end of doing art, so they can go back and create businesses and put food on the table and help in their families. So it's for me. That's why I call my way transformative art, is that it impacts more than just the individual that I'm working with. It actually impacts communities. Imagine the kid that receives musical instruments and that's our future musicians. So
Right.
kid,
Absolutely.
not all of them are going to be there, but one or two of them are going to be there. But most of them are going to be able to get through the day, get through if they're depressed. So this is, again, another thing I was talking about earlier, that we need to have an emotional outlet through art, and music is part of that. You know, acting, and it can also be sports. If you're doing sports, or you're doing physical activities out there, that's part of that.
I
Um,
think you have a quote about beautiful art versus.
yes. This is the quote that I wrote. That's dear to me. I say, beautiful art is obvious, and great art is transformative.
That's a
So
great.
that's the quote I want to leave you with. Is look, you can create all the beautiful art you want to create, and it will always be beautiful, and people look at it and go, "Wow, it's amazing." Um, but it's just beautiful art. My art is not for art's sake. My art is cause driven, so I call it great art because it has a way to transform and impact the world in a different way. So
I love that. And you and I met on an app called Clubhouse that isn't really widely known yet, but it will be soon. And I'll tell you that I met a group of people, and their whole thing is influence for impact.
yeah,
Don't just influence,
yeah.
but have an impact and help move the dial in the right direction.
So you met some people who know me on there? You said?
Yes. So I'm working with the lady who runs PB Essentials,
Mm-hmm.
and another girl named Rams, RAMs.
You don't have to be specific. So you met some people on there who
Yeah.
are aware of my work.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's cool. Good to hear.
Yes, and also, so we're nearing our end, but I wanted to ask if you'll come back and show us your new pieces as you create them.
I would love to do that, and I would love to do that at my in my gallery here in Utah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So yeah, we could do that live at my gallery anytime. Just let me
That
know.
would be wonderful.
Let me know when you want to send an invitation, and we could do that.
We'll arrange it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone that took the time to listen to us. See you soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
You've been listening to me talk with the artist Jabu about transformative art. So thank you for being with us today.